Hey everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name's Hannah and I just like to ramble about books. Today's video is going to be the mid-year freakout book tag that like everyone seems to do. I'm a little late on this because we've been busy doing my reading room, which it's getting there. I've got walls are done, some of the trim's done, I got my new chair, my bookcases are set up. So that video is going to be coming hopefully in a few weeks. It's gonna take a while, I feel like, to edit, but we're making good progress, at least enough where I can film in here again, so that's great. But anyway, let's just jump right into this tag. I will put all the questions down below if you guys want to do this. Feel free, I'd love to see your videos. But just jumping right in, the first question is the best book so far for 2025. Honestly, in my opinion, I know this is a hot take, I feel, because a lot of people don't feel the same, is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is the third book in the Empyrean series, and I love this series. I am obsessed. This was 5 stars. I don't know, I don't really have much other words. I can't say much about this too without giving away spoilers, but I can't wait for the end, and I'm also dreading the end because then it's gonna be over, but I need to know what happens, guys. I really need the next book now, and I can't wait. Second question is the best sequel so far of the year, and I have 2 answers to this because I really couldn't decide. First up is Be Spelled by Laura Thalassa. This is the sequel to Bewitched, and it was phenomenal. I love that series. The next book in the series just came out, which is actually a prequel, and I kind of forgot to add it into my July TBR, so now it's gonna sneak in there, and honestly it might bump something out with how ambitious that TBR is, but I absolutely have to read it. Second choice is Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. This was so good. This is like right on par with the first book. I honestly have a hard time picking between the two, which one's my favorite. So both of those get the win for question number 2. Question number 3 is a new release you haven't read yet, and so far that is A Curse Carved in Bone by Daniel L. Jensen. This is the second book in the saga of the Unfated duology. The first book was A Fate Inked in Blood, which I really enjoyed. It's a Norse mythology inspired romantasy, and I really enjoyed the first one, so I'm excited to see the conclusion to that. Question number 4 is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and that's The Bonds of Hercules, which is the sequel to Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Moss. I think that comes out in October, and I can't wait for that book. I loved The Blood of Hercules. I devoured that book in like 2 days. It was so good. It was funny and like kind of lighthearted, but I also love the story, and anything Greek mythology usually has my heart. So that was great. Question number 5 is the biggest disappointment of the year, and I actually don't have it right now because I lent it to someone to honestly to validate my opinions that I wasn't being petty or anything or dramatic about how disappointed I was with this book, but it is As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. I hated that book. I don't like to use that words when it comes to books, but I absolutely despise that book. I won't give away spoilers, but I just feel like our main character does something that is not like her at all. Like, it's a complete 180 to all her character development, and it really pissed me off, and I stuck it out just to see if it would get any better, and honestly, in my opinion, it did not. It got worse. So I was really upset. My coworker read it too, and then she agreed with me, so I felt validated. She just has yet to return the book to me, so I don't have it here with me. But anyway, moving on. Number 6 is the biggest surprise of the year, and honestly, Powerful by Lauren Roberts was a huge surprise to me. I read Powerless this year and I liked it. You know, it was a really good book. It was entertaining, very much had a lot of Hunger Games vibes to it, but different. And so I was like, sure, I'll continue. Picked up Powerful, wasn't really expecting much because it's just a novella. You know, novellas really have a hard time getting high ratings because there's not much you can do in such a short amount of time. God, this was so impactful. It was just like a little extra bonus relationship with a side character, and it was just so endearing. Like, I loved it so much. This was, I think I gave it 5 stars. I'd have to double check, but I loved it, and I was really shocked at how good I thought it was. Question number 7 is favorite new author. I've got 3 answers for this one because I really couldn't decide. So these are all new to me authors. I think one of them might be a debut author. I'm not entirely sure about that. But first up we have Carrie Lake. She wrote Nocticadia, which I loved. And then I just read Anathema by her. I listened to the audio on that. I love that too. The only thing that pissed me off was the ending. It was very abrupt and I'm like, what do you mean that's the end? Apparently there's going to be a second. It's actually in a duology, which my bad, I thought it was a standalone. Anyway, I love her writing. She does the gothic theme really well, like everything spooky gothic vibes. Nocticadia is like a forbidden professor-student thing. Amazing. And then Anathema, I'll talk a little bit more because that's going to be in my June reading wrap-up, but that is also like a dark gothic fantasy, which was amazing. So that was great. Also, we have Kaylee Smith. She is new to me this year. I think she might be debut, correct me if I'm wrong. Both Phantasma and Enchantra were amazing. I loved both of them. Again, spooky gothic fantasy, perfect. Obviously I have a type. And then another one that I absolutely have to mention for sure is Rachel Smith. She wrote the Lore Olympus graphic novels. And guys, I am obsessed. I started this series this year and I have not stopped. So far, I think I've gotten up to 5. I need to order the next one because these are just so addicting. It's a graphic novel, so you can read it so quickly, and it's Greek mythology. So again, sold for me. The story is so beautiful. I love it. She does deal with some like heavier topics, so there's a little bit of like a trigger warning in the front, but it's amazing. I highly recommend it, especially the artwork in these is stunning. So also gets a mention for favorite new author. Number 8 is Newest Fictional Crush. And again, this book's getting featured a lot, but that is Rowan Silver from Enchantra. I loved him. He was amazing. I'm not going to spoil anything, but what he did in the end was so beautiful, and it kind of reminded me of something else that happened in another book I'm going to mention towards the end, and I love it when they do that. And I can't say because I don't want to spoil anything, but if you've read this book, you know. And it was just great. I loved it so much. Newest favorite character, so just regular character, is going to be Alexis from Bonds of Hercule. She's just so funny. Like, she is the kind of person that when something happens, she just kind of like makes fun of herself. And that's what I do to myself. So I really see myself a lot in her, honestly, but I really loved her. She was so funny. She made this book so enjoyable, and I can't wait for the next one. Question number 10 is going to be a book that made you cry. There's a couple options for this. If I'm gonna say the book that made me cry the most, then that's absolutely Onyx Storm, because there's something that happens in this book that devastated me, and it wasn't even the ending. Again, no spoilers, I'm not gonna say anything, but I was not well when this thing happened. Powerful also made me shed a tear. Not as upset as Onyx Storm, but got me a little teary-eyed too. I feel like I haven't had a ton of super emotional reads this year, other than those two and one other I'm gonna mention, but yeah, it hasn't really been a super emotional year for me when it comes to my reads. Question number 11 is book that made you happy. And this can kind of go for the last question too, because I did tear up at the end of this one. This is Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. This is the 3rd book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. I feel like when I saw a lot of other people read this and talk about this, that they were just kind of mad. I love this book. I love Rose. She is so funny. And Fionn, I think I'm saying that right, is just like this little sweetheart of a guy who just wants to be a good guy. And I love that. And again, this very similar to what happened in the end of Enchantra happens in the end of this book. It's just so cute, and that did make me tear up. But the ending overall, how she wrapped up this whole trilogy and we got everyone together in the end, and then also kind of a teaser for another series she's going to be doing, that just made me so happy. I loved it. This was great. I'm pretty sure I rated this either 4.5 or 5 stars, and I annotated a bunch. So I don't know, maybe I'm just the outlier, but I love this book. I don't know what everyone else's problem was. Number 12 is going to be the most beautiful book you've gotten this year, and that is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I had recently went to Barnes & Noble, and this was one of the books I was going to pick up if they still had their exclusive editions available. Unfortunately, they didn't. And I was like, you know what? I'm not planning on reading it right away. I'll just wait on it. And then I found out the audio was available on Spotify, so I listened to that book, loved that book, and I was like, well, I need it. So I went online and they still have the exclusive editions online. So the dust jacket has beautiful blue foiling. The edges are so pretty. Like, it's a gorgeous sprayed edge. There's also really pretty end papers. And I'm pretty sure the regular edition has foiling on the cover, but this foiling is that really striking blue foiling. So I had to have it. I'm pretty sure it was on sale when I bought it too, so justified. Really enjoyed this one. The last question, question number 13, lucky number 13, is what books do you need to read by the end of this year? And I really had to think about this one because a lot of people do like 25 books to read in 2025 and stuff like that. I didn't do that. I don't normally do that. I just kind of have an idea going on. But one of my goals this year was to at least start, maybe finish the Ruthless Boys series by the Twisted Sisters, Susan Valenti and Caroline Peckham. They are the authors of Zodiac Academy, and Ruthless Boys is a prequel series. Some people read it in tandem with Zodiac Academy, some people read it before. I haven't read it at all. I need to read it. I love those authors. I love that universe. So I just need to dive back in. And that's one of the things I'm hoping to do this year. So at the minimum, start it, ideally finish it. I think there's 5 books in the series. You're following like Gabriel and Leon. I can't remember who else, honestly, but I'm super excited to read those books as well. But that is everything for the mid-year Freakout book tag. I will be posting my June reading wrap-up very shortly. I know I'm behind on a few videos, but again, renovations take time and it's been hard to find time to film, unfortunately. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to, go ahead and do this tag and tag me because I'd love to see what your answers are. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!